Hello and welcome back aboard the Mission 86 Performance BMW M4 GT4. We are going to be doing some multi-class racing around Spa-Francorchamps. 2 hours of GT4s and LMP3s. I'm going to start from the pit lane because of this mistake in qualifying. Whoops. Anyway, yeah, like I said, starting from the pits because there is no way I was going to start this race from the middle. So, starting from the pit lane, GT4s, LMP3s, lots of dive bombs, lots of craziness, D-class race, bottom split. Can we go from the pit lane to positive iRating? Yep, that's the mission. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, folks, here we go. Starting from the pit lane, let's see if we can get to positive iRating. Really tentative P3 here. So we're doing cold tires and a lot of traffic. Mostly from these guys who started from the pit lane like me. Just trying to let you by, dude. Okay, one more P3 behind me. Really? This is a 2-hour race and this dude just dive bombed the living hell out of me in a corner that is definitely not a spot where you overtake for any reason. As usual, it's just trying to get through the first couple of laps. That was either going to be an off track or a wreck, so best thing to do, just back off. Welcome to maybe not bottom split, but it's got to be a low split. All I want to do All I really want to do is get through this race as clean as I can. But we've already achieved positive iRating. Wasn't expecting that P3 to just spin out right in front of me. Now I got a 4X. Okay, but supposedly no damage. Oh well. Okay, I guess 4X isn't the worst thing ever, but that was not at all what I was going for. Some of these folks really do not seem to understand that this is a 2-hour race. This is going to be one of those races where if I just keep it on track and don't do anything crazy, I should be able to actually do something here. But it's early still. So if you want to know what happened to me all this time, basically just life happened. Take it as that. It's just a lot of life and crazy circumstances. But, get this. New rig. Well, not new rig. New computer, I should say. And while I haven't been recording, I have been doing a fair amount of racing. Not that you can tell by the iRating, but it was up around 1500 for a minute. And then, well, iRacing happened. Then I also had some technical glitches. Trust me, you don't want to hear what happened last night. Didn't expect Jim to start talking. You don't want to know what happened last night, trust me. It was a mess. Don't know how I don't know how frequent I'll be putting stuff up, but the plan was always to come back. Okay, so we got a group of P3s bearing down on us. Hopefully, they don't decide to get too crazy. I'll give them okay, that was scary. Mercedes might go by me at some point here. Again, though. Yeah, I'll just let him on through. It's a 2-hour race. I don't need to get too racy just yet. That was a little ambitious by the Mercedes. Go off track and then try to jump back on with 2 cars right behind you. Okay. P1 in the LMP3s is coming up. Griffin seems to be having some issues. That's that Mercedes that had the sketchy rejoin. I'm honestly just in cruise mode right now. Being off track. I will. There's enough of a gap behind me. I can do it on the racing line. I think that just the attrition alone is going to be enough to get a decent run out of this one. But not if I keep doing stuff like that. I have no idea why I did that. I'm already on 6 incident points. Curb, and then you don't have that issue. See, the safety rating is not good. That's largely because of the mess that happened last night. a technical glitch that absolutely destroyed my safety rating, but whatever. I just don't like the fact I've already got 6 incident points. But I think that I'll be okay. I noticed, Jim. Yeah, I know, Jim. His safety rating is completely out the door. Well, maybe not. It's a long enough race that should be alright, I guess, as long as I slow down this pace of getting incidents, because this is getting kind of ridiculous. Definitely need to back up poo on. Say this guy is 4 laps down. What the? Guy's in 11th place, racing me like it's for the win. Just say I need to back up poo on. How? I noticed. Good grief. That's just ridiculous. I'm on 11 incident points, what? 30 minutes into a 2-hour race? That's ridiculous. Launch. Sun's coming out. Ooh, he must have had some kind of a problem. So let's see if we can just get back into a groove and get some smooth laps in here. Tire wear. It's a little early to be pitting unless I'm mistaken. I'm not gonna pit until Jim tells me to. That may end up being the wrong strategy, but that's what I'm gonna do. so I don't really consider them to be worth racing at this point. But I can't try to get a distant tone. That was no good. Yeah. I've already got the penalty, Jim. I got 12 incident points. That's half of them gone in not even the first half of the race. Still think the safety rating gain is completely off the cards, but it's not impossible with, what, 40-something laps? I don't know. Maybe I'll break even. Which is still not good, but if I can break even on safety rating and gain iRating, I'll be happy. Cool part is that I am back to recording and back to running races that feel like they're worth it. Doing, man? That hit was just a 0x and it wasn't anything significant. Next lap. I know. I know. I honestly don't know what I'm doing that's causing me to slide out on some laps and not on others. For real, I have no idea. Why is this dude racing me when he is at least a lap behind? I'm not saying that he needs to just jump out of the way and play dead, but just no sense in trying to outbrake me. That was close. Okay. Cold tires definitely need a little bit of brake there. try my best not to get any more off tracks or cheap ones. And I especially don't need contact and end up with a drive-through. So, pulling the reins a little bit here. Should be okay. That didn't get sketchy at all. apologies for not talking as much as you used to me talking, but that was one of the changes I felt like I needed to make to be better. big gap on the next car, because that really, for some reason, that whole sequence back there just absolutely screwed me up, and I don't know why. Okay, 1 hour in, and I'm sitting on 13 incident points. Let's see if we can rectify that for the second hour. Will require dialing back a little bit from where I was, but sometimes dialing back you actually go faster, so. Faster when your dog decides that she wants your elbow for some reason. Occurred to me I'm driving car number 14. I need to have a good run. I'm carrying AJ Foyt and Tony Stewart's number. And Fernando Alonso, but sorry folks, fuck him. Johnson is having a nightmare now. That's that McLaren that was behind me for the last, pretty much since the start of this run. Come on, baby, stop. Okay. He's got plenty of straight to get by me. Somebody must have had an incident. While commenting on that, damn near had one myself. Well, that's certainly not right. Said about it just being a race of attrition. You can just go ahead and turn in. I don't know if you thought I was going to miss the corner. what? apart from the incident points, so far so good. Four of those were definitely not my doing. P3 just spun right, just spun right across my nose, and I don't know how in the world that wasn't a big wreck. Should I pit? Give it a safety lap. Let's give it a safety lap. Just in case there's an extra lap at the end of the race that is not currently calculating. Been at least a little bit patient, he could have just slung to the inside of me back there and been in beautiful position. Jesus. Davey, so you know you don't have a wing. Okay, well, that was crazy. No wing, yet blocking me. I don't know what that was. No wing, but blocking the car. He's not even racing at all. I'm not gonna... Whoa! Woo. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about 19 seconds. Alright. This hopefully is enough safety margin. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pit here. Yep, he's got plenty of room. By the way, this is the bike layout of Spa, supposedly. Why that weird kind of odd corner back there where we're skipping No Name, basically. Damn near skipped another corner that I'm not supposed to skip. Okay, supposedly there's going to be like 12 laps left, maybe 13. So, should have plenty of fuel just in case it goes long. Also 15 seconds up, so me, or has Claire been incredibly quiet? Got to look into that, because she's supposed to be talking. there's another incident point. Where are you going? There you are. I've been letting them by on the inside there, but he kind of surprised me. Damn, that dude's hauling ass. He's about to lap third place. I understand that I'm not exactly setting the world on fire here. I'm running third. I wouldn't expect to be in danger of getting lapped. Seems like every time somebody pits, there's an incident in the source, so I'm thinking that's a glitch of some kind. Guy leading the P3s, I feel like, is a little over aggressive in trying to get around the slower cars. He seems like he's just gonna dive bomb me wherever the hell I am, and that's no good. He's getting real lucky that I know he's coming, and I'm able to give him a wide berth. The first couple times he lapped me, my God. I expected the first couple times that he was gonna wait until get on a straight or something, you know, just kind of be careful, especially in the first few laps. Nope. Dive bomb. In places where you really should not be dive bombing. It's not the worst thing in the world, at least I know what's going to happen, but that's, to me, a bit sketch. Like I said, every time somebody pits, it's an incident in the source, so something's up. outside chance I may still be able to gain a small little smattering, just a dusting of safety rating out of this. Maybe. Incidentally, I meant to say this at the beginning, but if the audio is screwed up, I'm sorry. This is my first time recording in quite some time, and like I said, I changed PCs and all kinds of stuff, so apologies if the audio is not quite right. I will obviously watch this back afterwards and make whatever adjustments are necessary for next time, or at least try to. Johnson gave up. Frankly, I can't say that I blame him. Space. This is a nice thing about when these races get real strung out like this. You can kind of relax and just give up time here and there without really having to worry about it. took me this long, but I guess I figured it out radio. Sorry for the indecision, Tim. Yeah, I'm sure there is. And now I've got a drive-through on top of that. I noticed, Jim. He's gonna go away. And I still gotta do the drive-through. Alright, so front end damage. This is another reason why you don't want to have like a really high incident count like that, because I'm getting the black flag just for the fact that I got more incident points and it put me up over the threshold for a penalty. And the incident points were because dude just spun out and decided that he was going to back. Instead of getting off the track, decided to put himself right across the middle of the track for reasons. Alright, so we'll do the drive-through this lap and then we'll see where we end up. But clearly I'm not going to get that podium that I kind of wanted. Unless some people have some problems at the end here, which I don't expect. At this point, I think that whatever kind of attrition there was going to be is pretty much happened. Alright, let's do the drive-through. Why I pitted was just because of the wheel damage. Otherwise I wouldn't have stopped last time. Definitely lost some front end downforce. Assuming that he just went off with cold tires. Oh well. Okay, so top 5 is still doable. With 19 incident points, I don't care how long this race is, there is no chance in hell on gaining safety ratings. I'm probably getting a license demotion. Good grief. I mean, I was okay at 14. I think that was probably going to break even, maybe. But 19, no. That's pretty much a guaranteed loss. Oh well. If I end up getting a license demotion, I'll just have to get it back. Doggone it. And trust me, that's not the word I want to use right now. Oh, come on! Jim, do you not think I know this? This just goes to show you what this race is, because I just pitted to fix at least some of the damage and did a drive-through, and yet I lost one position. Ah, come on. I am not driving into people, Jim. What the hell are you even talking about? Trying to play it out, get it done. I just did not want to. Normally I would have had taken that corner and hoped that he gave me space, but I didn't want to risk it that time. I'm just trying to play it out at this point. Pretty sure I'm basically stuck in 4th place. So all going pretty well until it wasn't. Fifth place is in the pit, so I'm not losing any positions. So I'm basically last on track, so that's fine. I've still survived mostly. But you know the thing that I'm actually happiest about with this? Yesterday, to give you the truncated version, yesterday, the reason why I lost so much safety rating is because I had a technical glitch that was causing me to lag badly, and I got bounced around and had like 10 or 12 incidents in like half of a lap, and that's about all I got in. Things were just absolutely a mess, and that's what screwed up. That's what screwed up my safety rating. Alright. So I think we're coming to the finish here because I just got lapped again. Anyway, no lag in this race at all, so awesome. Yep, we're coming to the finish. Alright, P4 would have been P3 if not for getting wrecked by a P3. Alright. Well, let me just say thank you to everybody, not just for watching this, but thank you for being patient with me if you were actually waiting on a video and wondering whatever happened to me. No, I didn't give up. I just had life struggles. Still having life struggles. But here we are. We're at Spa. We finished one spot off the podium despite all the stuff that happened, the million off tracks, and then the wreck right almost at the end. So, yeah. This is a nice little bit of happiness in what's been a bit of a rough stretch. So, I'm not going to be too happy when I see where my safety rating is, but the main thing is I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be racing a GT4 at Spa. I'm happy to be back doing these short enduros. Keep an eye out because I have a friend who's going to be joining Mission 86 Performance, and when the time is right, we're going to team up and do some of the longer enduros, so be prepared for that. Yep. Get one more lap all the way in here just to try to help out at least a little bit with the safety rating. Ocean. Anyway, again, so many thousands of thank yous to all, what, 10 of you who are subscribed. Thank you. Alright. Parker right here. Okay, y'all. As usual, have a good night. Hope your holiday season is going well. Mission 86 out.